I do all the other segments for y'all. This one, these two, they be for me. Because in my mind, I think I should have been born in the 70s. I should have grew up listening to Al Green as a party song. Right? Like, I'm so tired of it. I should have had bell bottoms on with a butterfly. I should have had the one thing open with the chain right in the middle. I should have grew up in that era. Because in my mind, I should have grew up being a revolutionary. But I realized, I think the 70s was the coolest ever era, right? But what I love about this segment, the World Track, is because, man, hip-hop and rap is such an amazing part of our culture. But yet, like everything else, all we get to hear is the negative. But what we don't realize, so many artists that love giving us and telling us their stories. And they have to wrap the medicine in candy sometime. And so we got to decipher where they're putting the bars that are strategically designed to tell us about wealth and information. And for 23 weeks straight, we've given you an artist where I went and found some lyrics inside of a song where an artist gave us some bars about wealth. So many artists do that. And so this week, we're going to highlight, man, a real good brother, man, Mickey Factz. We're going to highlight Mickey Factz, man. Mickey come with the bars. And he said something. He sent me this. I ain't even going to lie. The dope part about it was Mickey did this on like a radio show. See what he says. Wallstreet trap it. Because when my man came home, he learned the market and went got a bag quick. While you putting in calls to get a cash flip, I be doing puts and calls to get a fast lick. And that's the only option. Here is the last tip. Only invest what you can afford, and that's it. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I could pick a mini song because Mickey he be hitting it. Like, he financial literacy bound. He be going crazy. But let's break it down, right? Wallstreet trap shit, that starts with me. He like, bro, but I think it's two-sided. I think he identifies me, but also I think he's symbolizing your like, Wall Street is some real trap shit. Like, I think when he says it, he uses it in a way of, I'm talking about my guy, but I'm also breaking down this vehicle that we are exposed to. It's just like the trap, just like I envisioned it. But then he doubled back and said, because when my man came home, he learned the market and went and got a bag quick. Yo, when I came home, I'm not gonna lie, I was trapping. I was like, oh, there's a bag here. I don't gotta risk my life. I don't gotta risk my freedom. And then, even if I lose, I ain't gotta go to jail. So I thought that was a great bar. But then he said, while you putting in calls to get a cash flip, because what happens? When we
I'm in a bind, Nate.
We make a call. Right? I need some quick cash. But he said, while you putting in calls to get a cash flip, I'm doing puts and calls to get a fast lick. That's talking about options, puts and calls. He went, and then he, that was good. And he anchored it to, and that's the only option.
Yeah, tell me that wasn't no bar, bro. That wasn't no bar. Nigga, listen.
Hey, that was crazy. And then he says, here's the last tip. Like, I gave y'all a game right there. If you missed it, here's the last one. Only invest what you can afford, and that's it. That's game. A lot of times people get into this market and they get into this game and they invest what they really can't afford to lose. And I'm gonna be honest with you in this game. There's no such thing as getting to the plate and hitting all home runs. Some people strike out, you're gonna hit a base hit. But you gotta be willing to play the game in order to even strike out or hit a hit. Shout out to my boy, Mickey Factz. Shout out to the King, man. We salute you, King. We appreciate you for these heavy bars, King. And you know I'ma dissect more music, and we gonna get more in that, man. Let's go, man. All right, man, so this segment is called Wise Words from the OG, man. You know, this segment is about me just having a one-on-one conversation with you after we've went hard for 2 hours. Wealth inequality is a real thing. You can blame it on schools. We can blame it on our parents. We can blame it on the system. But I always say, why place the blame and we can't change who to blame? But what we can change is the outcome. Just because you were born in a poor family, just because you were born in a trap, just because you were born in the trenches, doesn't mean you have to stay there. In 2022, going into 2023, we have information overload. There's so many outages, outlets, there's so many people, there's so many mentors that we have access to that we can borrow some of their influence. I understand truly where the mindset comes from. It's easier to blame than to take action. It's easier to cry than to stand firm. But I want you to know something. You have the potential to change your financial destiny. And once we realize that a small investment goes a long way, that is the first step in helping us heal from that financial trauma. This week when I was with my family for Christmas, I feel like we orchestrated some beautiful new traditions. And I knew it went well when my uncle said, I want to do it again next year. Because you realize that exposure is everything. And so I asked you, what will you expose your family to? What will your legacy to the family be about? What role will you play? Are you the asset or are you a liability? Are you the person that frees your family from poverty? Or are you the person that anchors you to generational poverty? Are you the person that heals you all from financial trauma? Or are you the person that anchors you to it? The two are very well distinguished. Freedom is an acquired taste, and it's probably the most expensive thing that you'll ever buy. But the one thing we did realize was being poor is expensive too. There's no point in watching so many people that look like you, come from where you come from, become millionaires and become wealthy, and then you sit there every day and not take action. There's 4 things that I like to contribute my success to. One is the focus. The focus is about you having a vision. The focus is about you understanding where you want to go, but truly not having all the directions. The next thing I want to focus on is discipline. Without discipline, you will not go anywhere. In order to achieve success, in order to achieve wealth, in order to achieve anything special, focus and discipline are required. Discipline restricts you from doing things that you know will take you off the journey. The third thing is action. A lot of times on our journey, we have these amazing ideas, but we never take action. Or at some point in us taking action, the feeling goes away that got us started. You know, I'm gonna lose weight at the beginning of the year. And then 7 days after working out, life starts lifing, and then your action became minimalized. So we need focus, we need discipline, and we need action. And the fourth thing is consistency mixed with perseverance. Because I promise you this, if you show up every day, the consistency will be met with adversity. But it is in that adversity that you must persevere. It is when things aren't right that you must keep going. It is when you're tired and don't feel like it, is when you must do it the most. So, focus, discipline, action, consistency mixed with perseverance is my ingredients for you for success. And as you exude those things, the vision gets clearer. How do you release yourself and your family from the strongholds that have held you down for generations? Because what I want you to realize is, it's not just you that's counting on you to succeed. What if I told you that your entire family is dependent on you? That's right. What if I told you that your entire family was in bondage and you had the keys to set them free? Because as I look at my family, I realize that I truly have the keys to change the entire dynamics. And now that I've exposed them, I am now obligated to be the change. The thing about that is, if I don't train the next person, then I'll get tired. I'll get exhausted. I'll get overwhelmed. I'll get wore down. And then the family fails with my demise. So the goal is not for just me to win, but it is to expose them and then educate them. Exposure opens them up to the possibilities. The education equips them with the tools. I want you to ask yourself in 2023, are you ready to equip your family with the tools? It's your boy, the Wallstreet Trappin, man. Welcome. I thank you for another episode. Episode 23 is amazing. We 23 episodes in, man. Do me a favor, man. Tell somebody about what we're doing. We want to be the biggest and the #1 show in 2023. We downloaded a Christmas episode. We dropped it on Christmas, man. It is now available on all streaming platforms. Do us a big favor. It helps the channel out a lot. Go download the episode. Leave a review on all streaming platforms, Apple, Spotify, Google Play, and everything else you can think of. I love y'all. Happy New Year. I will see you all next year. Salute. Tootie, turn that shit up, baby.